Good morning, everyone. I am Patrick.
And I'm Nina. So for this year's Congress, we would like to present an ongoing project entitled the Leeds Arcades Project.
This morning, we intend to present one of the phases of ethnographic research conducted as part of the greater ongoing study. The Leeds Arcades Project is obviously inspired by the work of Walter Benjamin, and the intention of this study is to examine the Victorian arcades of Leeds and people's behaviour within them. The aim is not to reproduce Benjamin's work, if that were indeed possible. The study will attempt to observe, analyse and, hopefully, comment on current modes of behaviour within these specific environments.
The scope of this entire project will look at 5 arcades within Leeds city centre, all built within a 23-year period just before the turn of the century. What we are presenting this morning concern observation made within the oldest of the arcades, Fountain Arcades, built in 1877.
For the overall study, a critical lens needs to be adopted, and towards this, an initial review has already unearthed several appropriate sources, including the 4 highlighted here. Erving Goffman's work, The Presentation of Everyday Life, which presents an analogy of the theatre, with the individual as actor or performer or audience member according to the focus of attention. Michel de Certeau's The Practice of Everyday Life, with de Certeau's assertion that citizens living within a city demonstrate their agency upon that city by animating it, developing it, and transforming it through time. They are not merely passive consumers. Gaston Bachelard's The Poetics of Space reassesses our concepts of inside and outside, and how our sense of being is determined by our position in space. And finally, in Species of Spaces, Georges Perec assembles a compilation of spaces that are usually taken for granted, approaching each description objectively and in detail, as though for the first time. By concentrating and observing locations in this way, the original sense of familiarity is erased. As the overall study is practice-based, a series of observations and interventions within the arcade will be created and enacted. These practical investigations will test how the research can be integrated into the creative practice. While examining 3 core elements of dramatic performances, choreography, environment, and dialogue, it is to the first of these, choreography, that our conceptual drawing exercises will explore how pedestrians move through the arcade. This will, hopefully, be the first of many reflective art-making experiments.
When we look at the map on the screen, you see here is a Fountain Arcade. The arcade runs as a gentle slope down from Lands Lane down to Begate, running from west to east. It was designed to record the passage of the people as they are passed through the arcade by drawing lines that could act as traces of the pathway taken by pedestrians. 1 line for each person. The first observation point that was chosen was a small table outside the coffee shop, roughly midway down the arcade, marked here at point A. This was a good location to make general data collection and to get a sense of the environment, the nature of the local ambient sounds, and to overhear passing conversations.
The location that was finally decided upon for the recording of the pathway drawings was within a gallery room in Starbucks above the arcade's eastern end. This viewing point can just be seen in the photograph on the left above the arcade entrance, and it is marked as point B on the map. On the first day of recording, it was raining outside, and the movement of the raindrops as they trickled down the windows within Starbucks seemed to be reflected in the movement of the pedestrians passing through the arcade from the top down to the bottom. The actual process of recording began by choosing a pedestrian as they entered the arcade from Lands Lane at the top, and by tracing a line on the handheld map, following their pathway until they either exited the arcade or entered one of the retail units, and at these times the recording ended, and a new target was chosen, entering the arcade at the top on Lands Lane once more.
Five sessions were organized to observe and record the movement of pedestrians through the arcade. One sample was taken of 3 different days, with a double sample being taken on 28 July. Each sample was limited to 5 traces to keep the recorded data legible for future use. And within each sample, 5 different marking methods were employed: red dotted, blue, black, and pencil lines. The 5 observational sheets can be seen here.
During all the sessions which recorded the movement of 25 individuals, there were 4 occasions when the target entered the Kapow coffee shop. That's here, 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 and here. 1 occasion when the target entered the Hutong tea house. That's here. And 1 instance of the target trying unsuccessfully to access Starbucks from the arcade. Using this data, more investigations are planned, with the aim of treating the recorded movements as a type of unintended choreography. It was first decided to combine the data into one overall plan of the recorded movement. And the result of this combination can be seen here. Due to the small size of the data collection sheets, the combined set of 25 movement traces look quite complicated on this A4 sheet.
Yes, it is difficult to differentiate the individual pathway in this image. The lines almost appear as loose thread hanging within a frame, and which has become entangled with each other. The drawing now seems to be represent the collective movement of pedestrians rather than that of individuals. It was that designed to enlarge this image so that the collective and individual movement of the pedestrian could be understood within the same image.
And this is the stage the work is at currently. In this image, the first 5 pathways can be clearly seen passing through the arcade from top to bottom. And this enlarged plan is approximately 70 by 30 cms. Once the remaining 20 pathway lines are transferred onto this plan, it may be possible to differentiate all the individual lines while still being aware of the collective movement.
And once this drawing is complete, more decisions will be made depending on the outcome of this current drawing.
Oh yes, for sure. This has been a brief summary of some of the work that has been conducted so far. The list of sources tabled on the screen here is a short selection taken from the ongoing literature review that is helping us to shape the study as it develops. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation this morning.
Yes, thank you.